with these varying degrees of severity, so I'm sure there are plenty of cases that are much more mild than that, but still very concerning. What can you tell pet owners in order for them to catch this before it gets to that level where the dog is injuring themselves? So if they're showing just minor signs, will that look very similar? What should they look for? Just those minor signs so they can catch it before it gets really scary and dangerous.
I think the thing is not to throw the dog into the deep end. If you understand what their threshold is, what their ability is to cope, then, and it really is understanding their body language as well. So um, there's things that dogs do that show that they're stressed or that they're nudging up to full-blown panic, and understanding that, recognizing what they are. But it's got to be specific to your dog because not every dog behaves the same way. So understanding what that dog does specific to it, those signs of stress. So that comes down to really starting to observe your dog, making sure, if you know what they look like when they're happy and relaxed, so that you can tell when they don't, knowing what their eyes look like, their mouth set, their body, their tail, what do they look like when they're having a good time, helps you identify when they're not having a good time and when they're maybe feeling stressed. But some of the maybe less obvious signs of separation anxiety might be things like drooling or heavy panting or maybe pacing around the house. So they're not maybe vocalizing, they're not destroying anything, but they are showing signs that they're really uncomfortable and they're not having a great time with being home alone. And then we look for the more subtle signs that lead up to them as well. So that could be things like a yawn or a lip lick or a paw lift or whatever it is specific to that dog. I think understanding what your dog looks like when they're healthy and when they're well, that helps you understand when the dog's feeling ill. So I know when my dog's not feeling well in itself, it's got a dodgy tummy or something like that. But it also goes down to mental health as well. So if you understand what your dog looks like when they're happy, then you can see when they're not happy and if they're feeling anxious. So it's really important. It's one of the key factors of dealing with separation anxiety.